All right, we're going to go ahead and find the inverse of 4x minus 1 squared plus 2. In order to do so, we just need to go ahead and start by unraveling this side. So I'm going to get rid of that positive 2 with a minus 2. Okay. Once I do that, I'm going to get y minus 2 equals to 4x minus 1 squared. Then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that 4. So that 4 is attached by multiplication. The inverse of that is division. So I'm going to divide by 4. Okay, once I do that, I'm going to be left with y minus 2 over 4 equals to, that cancels. We're left with x minus 1 squared. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the square root, the square that is here with a square root. And I'm going to make sure that I put that square root over the entire thing. Now, one of the things we have to remember, so when we take the square root, there are two answers, a plus and a minus. And this square and that square root are going to cancel. So I'm going to be left with plus or minus the square root of y minus 2 over 4 equals to x minus 1. And then I've got to get rid of that minus 1. So I'm going to get rid of that minus 1 with a positive 1. Now, when I add that 1, I need to add it to the outside of this entire statement. I cannot add it to what's inside that square root because that square root's already finished. So I'm going to say, okay, well, plus 1 plus or minus the square root of y minus 2 over 4 equals to x. Now, we have solved for x. X is alone. And because it's alone, we can go ahead and write the inverse now. And so that's going to be our last step, is saying, okay, well, what is the final inverse? So I'm going to write the inverse as f inverse of x equals to 1 plus or minus the square root of x minus 2 over 4. Now, I'm going to type the whole entire thing into this so that you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to have to make two statements when I do this. So 1 plus SQRT, the square root of x minus 2 divided by 4. Okay, and what I'd like to do is just go ahead and give my inverse a name. So I'm just going to call it g of x, just in case we have to do compositions in a little while. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to write h of x. And I'm going to do the other part, 1 minus the square root of x minus 2 divided by 4. And you can see that it actually goes ahead and makes that inverse. And what I also like to do is maybe write in y equals to x and see if it splits it. And you can see that reflection of the quadratic to the two square root graphs, which we're going to talk about restricting in our next, having to restrict in our next video.